Amy. I have to say, because she just walked in, but also because I have other friends here, how much this event in particular means to me for two reasons. First, because the person who gave me my first job as a writer and who has been so hugely supportive of my work since the very beginning that if I think about it too much or talk about it too much, I start to cry. Amy Cross Rosenthal is here, who's a brilliant, brilliant picture book author and also a brilliant author of books for grown-ups. Her book, Encyclopedia of an Ordinary Life, is one of my absolute favorites. And a New York Times best-selling author. Like me. Thank you all very much for tricking the New York Times bestseller list into putting Paper Towns on it next week. That was really well done. I thought it was impressive when we tricked YouTube into letting us take it over in December of last year, but I did not know that we would be able to successfully trick the entire New York Times bestseller list. And I felt like we tricked it on a huge level too, because there were several other books and probably on there, including Tobin Anderson's brilliant The Astonishing Life of Octavian Nothing, which is a big, very beautiful, very, very good book. But the second thing that I want to say is that I'm really grateful not only to have Amy here, but also to have my best friend from college here, Shannon James, and to have Claire Zolke, whose first novel comes out with Dutton next year?
Yep.
Next year, and her husband Steve of like 2 weeks. A week, 1 week. Woo! 2 weeks. Hey, how about that? And of course my wife Sarah, who will get mad at me if I point at her. But who is awesome. And Sho, who, it's crazy. I mean, I love being in Chicago because I get to tell these stories. I met Sho, Amy Cross Rosenthal got me a job, a $20 job, making radio pieces for WBEZ's morning show 848.
Yeah.
And I met Sho when she was an intern at 848 because we went, I was a single guy, and we went to a place called Boogie Nights in, where was it, Schaumburg? And I went speed dating. And Sho held the mic while I speed dated, or as she called it, speed dat. And then afterwards we went out to a diner to try to process what had happened because it was emotionally challenging for both of us. There was actually a woman there I really liked. She was like 45, but I thought that she was fantastic. I was like 23 at the time. I thought that she was lovely. And also she was a doctor. And there's something just sort of inherently attractive about doctors because like they're compassionate, but they're also rich. And she was the only one I like marked. And she didn't mark me. Even though like I had like the NPR vibe about me, you know, like someone was like carrying around a mic, like recording everything I said. Even so, she still didn't mark me. It worked out okay because of Sarah. And I'm not married to a woman 26 years my elder. And I want to thank you for coming, and I want to thank you for being here at the bookseller. I used to live on that street, Giddings, right there. And an abundance of Catherine's explicitly mentions Café Saint Marie, which is at that corner. I wrote a lot of Catherine's while I was sitting here, usually like right over here, and I would have the same sandwich all the time. This is a lovely bookstore, and it is a bookstore. It is one of those bookstores that reminds us of the centrality of independent bookstores to like quality cultural discourse in the United States. Like if you are okay with a world in which 30 young adult novels and 30 adult novels and 30 romance novels and 30 mysteries are published every year, then I think it's cool to buy your books at Target. If you think that future would have a chilling effect on our conversations, then maybe you should buy your books here. So I would encourage you to all, if you can, buy a book today. Not one of my books, because they aren't the best here, but they've got, you know, Gatsby and Cormac McCarthy and Salinger and plenty of stuff that blows me out of the water. So yeah, I'm a big really, I want to make that clear. Like, there aren't a lot. I live in Indianapolis. If there were a place like this in Indianapolis, I wouldn't be desperate to move. But there isn't. Sorry, people on the internet watching in Indianapolis, but it's true. The internet is watching us, so be careful. So yeah, I wanted to start out by saying that, and by saying how fortunate you are to have the bookseller here, because when I talk about why I love independent bookstores, I always talk about this particular store, because I walked in here one time and I was talking to a guy here, and I was talking about books I liked, and he said, "You should really read this trilogy by Philip Kerr called Berlin Noir." And I said, "Oh, I don't read mystery novels. I don't like them." And he said, "Well, I mean, I think you'd like this if you like all that other stuff you were talking about." And I was like, "No, mystery novels are stupid." And he said, you don't have to buy it, obviously, but like, I promise you won't regret it. And, oh yeah, everyone avoid the door. Stand away from the door. That was shared blame, really, that situation. So I bought Berlin Noir, and it's brilliant, and it informed Paper Towns in a lot of ways. Like, it changed the way I thought about this story, because it made me think about the ways, and then I read a ton more mystery novels through his recommendations, and they really changed the way I thought about how to structure this book, and how to like write books with plots and stuff, which I'd never tried to do before. And so, in a number of ways, this place made this book possible, because of the books I read here, because of the writing I did here, because of walking in here and being able to like see people like Amy or Claire or Nathan Raven, who works at The Onion and who recently coined the term Manic Pixie Dream Girl, which I'm going to talk about when I'm done with this. Okay, so now I'm going to read from Paper Towns. I assume a lot. Raise your hand if you watched the video blog I make with my brother. So everyone then? Okay, great. In that case, I'm not going to read the prologue because you've all heard it before. Instead, I'm going to read something else that you've probably all heard before too, but maybe fewer times than the prologue. The part I'm going to read is about these three friends at Winter Park High School in Orlando, Florida. All you need to know, I think, is that Margot is this girl who is I can't find a blue copy, but there are a lot of them. Yeah, okay. There are two covers to this book. That's all. Both of them present vastly different photographs of the same young woman, who is, I guess, supposed to be Margot Roth Spiegelman, this larger-than-life character in the life of this high school, Winter Park High School, and particularly in the life of this kid, Q, who lives next door to her and is a band geek who's not in the band. Q has two best friends, Ben, who believes that the surest path to a woman's heart is by calling her a honey bunny, and Radar, who's this African-American kid who's like a semi-professional editor of a website that's identical in every way to Wikipedia, except that it's called Dictionary. And I think all you need to know is that Radar has a date to prom, which is surprising, as any editor of Wikipedia will tell you. In fact, when you go to Wikipedia and you look up prom, it just says something we don't go to. And that Ben really wants to go to prom and hasn't been able to land a date and has just been rejected. So Ben and Q are having lunch in the cafeteria. Radar has lunch next period, and Ben and Q are meeting Radar's girlfriend for the first time.